Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by to visit our channel. My name is Curtis Brooks. I'm a transformational speaker. Last week I did a video on affirmations, and what is an affirmation was the video title. And on today I wanted to dig a little deeper into affirmations and show you just how they work. That being said, again, my name is Curtis Brooks. I'm a transformational speaker. We're going to dive right into this. The word conscious means alert. It means that you are mindful of something. It means that if I pinched you, or if I punched you, or if you pinched me or you punched me, that I would feel it. I would be mindful of what happened to me. Oh, I just got punched, or I just got pinched. Something along those lines, but you are alert. You are awake to it. You see it happening. It is logical or it's not logical. It makes sense. All right, that is conscious, meaning that you see it with your own eyes. I was awake to what happened and I didn't understand it, but I was awake to what happened. But nevertheless, your subconscious is just the opposite of that. The conscience operates as a level of awareness, meaning that, again, you were alert. The subconscious is, again, yet another layer which goes under the conscious, meaning that the word in itself means that you are not aware of it. But I want to clear some things up, because even though we're not aware of it, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It doesn't mean that an incident didn't take place. Some of us have dealt with all kinds of different challenges in life. We were maybe too small to feel or understand, but in most cases, that's where a lot of the challenges or situations had taken place, is when we were small. That being said, this experience here that we are dealing with has become a part of our subconscious. Even though we may not fully recognize or remember exactly what happened, it does not invalidate our experience. And most of what we are acting out in our lives, good or bad, or indifferent, whatever the case may be, most of what we are acting out in life is from the layer that is right here, the subconscious. And through the conscience, we are made aware of what happens. Though at times we don't rightfully respond to what's happening through the subconscious, is because we sometimes, maybe out of shame, maybe out of just feeling indifferent about what just happened. Why am I feeling a certain way? Why am I thinking this particular thought? And in most cases, it comes from the subconscious here. And through the subconscious, from the layers, if you will, it makes its way up to the conscience, meaning that now we are aware of it. We may not be able to explain it, but we are aware of it. And see, this is the part where we as people, doesn't matter who you are, where you've come from, or what your experience may have been, this is a part of our lives where now that we are aware of the feelings, the thoughts that will come out of the subconscious, make themselves available to the layer above it, which is our conscious. Now that we are mindful of that experience or that feeling or that thought, we seen or we felt something happen. We experienced something. We may not be able to put it in words, but the fact is, it's something that we need to be mindful of, that we can now change because we've seen it, we felt it, we heard it. And this is the challenge that so many of us have come against, is that we are feeling, we are seeing, we are hearing, Most importantly, we are experiencing things that are taking place through the subconscious that make their way to the conscious. So now we're mindful of it. And this is where we can change it. This is exactly where we can change it. This is where we become mindful of what takes place in the subconscious. Because see, here's the thing. If you are in a particular situation or circumstances are happening in your life, they're happening because of this here. And if you're constantly, time and time again, in a same situation, though as my mother would say when I was much younger, is that the package is different. The same experience, but yet the package is different. So if you are experiencing that in life, meaning that if it's the same experience, but yet a different package, it's happening here through your subconscious. Though we don't see it, we're not aware of it because the package looks different. But nevertheless, it leaves us with the same feeling, the same experience it leaves us with. It leaves us with the same motivation or lack thereof. So it is our conscience that finally makes us aware that, wait a minute, let me take a moment to stop. Let me take a moment to just take a breather, if you will, and ask myself those important questions. Why am I still here in this place in my life? Why are the same things continue to happen? Again, the same experience, but yet a different package. And if that is happening to you, this is the area, the subconscious, where the work needs to happen. Because we need to essentially bombard the subconscious, fill our minds and fill our hearts up with the affirmations, the positive affirmation, I should say. Let me clarify that. It is the positive affirmations that we need to just fill our hearts, our minds with abundance. That it's to the point where it's overflowing. That is what's coming out of our mouths. This is what we need to bombard our minds with, so that to the point that we are consciously aware of what we're saying. We're consciously aware eventually from the words become the actions, from the actions become the behavior, from the behavior becomes the habits, and from the habits it becomes a lifestyle. You essentially become a new creature. How about that? Think about it, guys. Think about it. This is not something that you can just get it fly by night. Think about it. Take a moment to think about it. That the conscious, obviously, again, it is something that we're aware of. We understand it either logically or we don't understand it, but we're mindful of the information. We're mindful of being pinched. We're mindful of being punched. We feel it, we hear it, we see it. So we are aware of it, we're alert. But through the subconscious, this is where the waters begin to get murky. Whereas that we don't see as clearly, we don't hear as clearly, but it does not take away the fact that something has happened. It does not take away that understanding. And here's how the affirmations, the positive affirmations work. Through life, we've all had something that has been affirmed. Again, affirmation is to speak, is to declare, is to pronounce. That's what the word affirmation means, to affirm, to repeat over and over, to affirm something. That being said, there is negative affirmations, there's positive affirmations. And if our behavior is such where we're not progressing in life and we're just not quite getting it, rest assured, there are some affirmations that don't quite fall in the arena of positive affirmations. They're actually working contrary to positive affirmations. They're negative to where we are mindful, though this is where I want to go. But the subconscious is truly the ruling factor, meaning that it is something in the subconscious that has been affirmed, be it negative or positive. But in the mindset or the understanding that if it's a behavior that we're doing and it does not flow in a direction where we are mindful and saying that this is where I want to go, that we're consciously aware of. I want to go in the direction of south. I want to go in the direction of north. I want to go right. I want to go left. Whatever the direction that you want to go, once you are mindful of it and you find yourself going yet in a different direction, guess what? We've got to consider what is beneath all of this happening, which is again the subconscious, but not yet the subconscious by itself, but the subconscious is affirming something that is the polar opposite of the direction that we want to go. Guys, think about it. This is logical. And the more simpler it gets, the less you believe it. If I were to make this totally complicated, it'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But for the fact it is not complicated, to some, it doesn't make sense. But the reality of it is that it's not complicated. It's being mindful that if you have made up your mind that you want to go in a direction of right, left, south, north, you want to pursue a certain career, you want to accomplish certain goals, guess what? You may very well obviously be conscious of what you want to do, what direction you may want to go. But if you're not going in that direction, if you keep running into the potholes in the road, if you will, of life, if those distractions keep distracting you, getting you off course, if you will, guess what? That means at a lower level that there's something happening in the subconscious. So I'm asking you to consider what has been affirmed on a deeper level. What has been your experience on a deeper level? And as I stated earlier, in most cases, for many of us in life, I've had my own experience as well. But for most of us in life, the experiences have taken place when we were yay small. And through the conscious, we guard against those things that could possibly enter the subconscious. Because, again, in most cases, we're at such a young age, we don't understand the conscious, the subconscious, the affirmations. None of that stuff makes sense to us. But because we didn't understand, the conscience was wide open. All those things that we've seen, we felt, we experienced was wide open. It entered into the space of the subconscious. Essentially, the guard was down. This is the guard right here, our conscience. Things that we don't like, we disagree with it, or it's just, no, I don't want that. No, that's not mine. But through the conscious, we guard against those things that we want or we don't want. We protect our subconscious from being offended. But through the power of affirmations, being negative or positive, those things have worked themselves into our subconscious, and we act them out not even being aware of what we've said or how it may offend someone or our actions, what we've done. So we're not aware on a subconscious level, but then we act them out consciously. We sometimes think that we're aware of it, but in most cases, this is what happens. Because the power is, yes, it works wonderful when you are consciously aware of what's going on, meaning that you have bombarded this subconscious level, this space here, with positive affirmations, changing the course or the direction of your life. It works wonderful when these two are in sync, because after all, that's how it's supposed to work. This is the person, this level of subconscious, most of us is just, oh, that's not me, that's not me. But this is the person that I'm aware of. I understand this person. But in fact, we don't understand this person because this person comes from the subconscious. The person that is here comes from here. And in most cases, those two people don't line up with each other. One agrees and another disagrees. Social idioms that challenge what we have experienced in life. They don't quite make sense to us. We don't understand why people are not liking us. We don't understand we're not getting opportunities. Because sometimes, and in most cases, I'll venture to say, the subconscious is working and it's spewing out all those things that sometimes we don't see. And there are times that we do see them. Sometimes we want to try and push them down as if they're not there, but yet they have a tendency to keep coming back and affecting the conscience, meaning that everyone sees us in a way that sometimes we may not want to be seen. But here's the challenge. If you begin to understand how the subconscious works and that it is the hidden entity within all of us that truly is powering the conscious person. Truly it is. Being mindful of what we put into our bodies, not just with food, but through the power of words. Words are affirmations. Doesn't matter how you slice it, cut it, or dice it. Words are affirmations. Whenever you speak something, you are affirming something. You may not understand it, you may not agree with it, but this is why the conscience is there. We have come to a place in our life or age in our life where we can say, no, I don't agree with that. But again, in most cases when we were yay small, it didn't make sense to us. So we just accepted it. And through no fault of our own, obviously, but this is what was happening. All of the experiences were entering into the subconscious and we acted them out. At a later time in our life, it could be anything. And so these things that we act out from the subconscious that enter into our conscious that others are aware of, that others see, that we may not think that we're doing, guess what? It has a tendency to affect all of our lives. Meaning that this is in fact what we are affirming. And so here's the other piece of this. What would happen if we were mindful of those feelings that would sometimes sneak up on us at different times in life, different situations? What would happen if we stopped for a moment and say, hey, what was that? Let me begin to question that feeling, that thought that came in my mind. And I'm not saying in a sense to play with it, but the fact is that if it's not something that you want, begin to change the affirmation. Change the dialogue that is connected with that. And in most cases, that is an experience. This, folks, gets much deeper than this because there's the forgiveness aspect of it. That we even have to forgive ourselves. It goes much deeper than this, folks. Folks, my name is Curtis Brooks, and again, thank you for tuning in to our channel. Our channel is about creating content for the professional, for the individual who wants or desires personal growth as well. We do what we do here. We are experiencing tremendous amounts of growth here on our channel, and once again, thank you for stopping by, for your viewership. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you. You guys have a great day. And if you have any questions about this, please drop some comments in the posting of this video here. Would love to hear from you and love to try to answer some of your questions. Again, thank you for your viewership and your support of our channel. Have a great day, guys.